It's early in the morning on the 2nd of January 2022, the year with lots of twos in. And I wanted to put out a New Year's message to the people I'm connected with. And I felt I wanted to do it in the spirit of, I did a series a little while back called The Man Behind the Mask. And it was when I was getting frustrated with the performance aspect, I suppose, of being someone in the public eye and really wanting to connect as Tim, this guy who's now 62 and living a life, and like you are, and this desire I have for us to meet in the reality of that, and I mean all the reality of that, like how scary that is, how amazing that is, how precious that is. And it's easy to fall into a kind of a, hi, I'm I don't know. And that's all fine too. You know, we need people to inspire and motivate each other. And what I'm looking for, though, now is to find that authenticity in myself, not just with you, but with myself. So last year, whoa, what a year. Awful lockdown. Not bad for me, honestly. I quite liked it because I was left to myself and I could develop this philosophy. So what am I up to? I come out here every day and I work on this philosophy, and I thought I was finished a year ago, and there's further to go, and I'm closer. And it matters, I hope, I think. You know, every author, I'm sure, thinks what they're doing really, really matters. Otherwise, you wouldn't put in the hours and the effort. But it feels like it's significant. Sometimes it feels very significant. And that gives me the strength to keep going day after day. Whether it is significant will be decided by you. But it does feel like my job, my contribution for all of the immense things that life has given me, is to try and articulate this way of seeing what reality is and what we are and what the meaning of our lives is. And it moves me. But it's hugely ambitious. It covers, right the way down from physics right the way up to the immortality of the soul and ideas of God. So it's a theology, it's a metaphysics, it has political implications, and I want to say a little bit about it all. And so I don't want to say things were just stupid or ill-informed. And so there's immense amounts of soul searching going on and transformation in myself that's necessary for that. And that's my personal gain. I get to grow. And so I hope it's worthwhile. And I notice an anxiety in me sometimes. I wake up some days very, very early, too early. And you know that thing, do you get that, where it's, if you wake up early and it's very still and it's something very beautiful about it, sometimes there's also something there's something primal and about the night, and there's a certain, I feel very aware of death at night. I feel very aware of death anyway, I always have been, but particularly at night. Maybe because I feel like, although Debbie is right there with me, she's asleep and I'm kind of on my own. And I notice as I get older how precious life feels, and this wanting to complete what I've set out to not like just like complete this project, although there is that, but somehow to fulfill some little bit more of the potential of being this guy before it ends, and how much I love it, despite all of the things I don't like, which there's lots. I love it. And why I love the vision that I'm wanting to articulate with the philosophy is because I love it so much. It feels like what we're in matters. And the thing which moves me the most, I'm not going to get into the philosophy in this because that will take me for hours, but the thing that moves me about the way of seeing it, this unividual vision that I'm exploring, is it really points to the importance of each individual's life. That what we're in is significant, but not just in its cosmic sense, although it is, but in its individual sense, that your life is significant, and that you are forming your soul is significant every day. And there's a huge thing in me that wants to return the dignity to our individual human lives. I say return, give, maybe it's never had it properly, or not in the way it could. So there's these two aspects always to life, isn't there, I think? So there's that kind of push of anxiety to complete and to find and to have come this far and to carry on further. I wish, I have to say, it feels like I wish I was doing this age 30 or 40 and I'd get to see more of it. But I'm aware that, life is limited. And by the time I've put it all out and done it, it'll take a long while, if at all, to reach many people for them to consider the ideas. And by then I will be much, much older, if I'm alive at all. And I'd like to not only feel like I've articulated it, but that I've been able to hear what people have made of the complete vision. And that's happened to some degree already, because I do share it with people in my community, in the international community of UNIVIDUALS, and I do share it. It's the essence of it is already in Soul Story, my last book. So these are my little personal anxieties that play through. And yet they're woven into how much I love the process of life and how precious it feels. And I think that's the way it is a lot. It's like when I realized that love was full of fear and that they weren't opposites at all. They were entwined with each other, that because I loved my little girl so much, they came with fear. And that was part of what this human thing is. All of those things wound up into this mystery that we're in, that I'm in right now, sitting here talking to my camera, hoping it's going to mean something to you and that it's worth the time for you to listen to it. And then on the other side, the last thing I feel like I need to say to myself, to you, to acknowledge this year is that I made some music again. I used to be a musician, a composer, before I was a writer a long time ago. And I'm not finished. It's not finished. It's very close to being finished. A little project I started 20 years ago, which I've really, really longed to complete. And in lockdown, I've taken it further, and it's taken longer than I hoped again. But it's been really good for me to balance all the words and the thinking, which is part of what I do. I mean, I balance it also with meditation and all that stuff. Exercise. But really balancing it with sound, with no meaning or no linguistic meaning. Just an attempt at beauty has been really good. So those are my little adventures, some of them for the last year, and I hope in the coming year to complete those two parts of chapters in my life, both the music that's been taking me 20 years and the philosophy that has been taking me 50 years, and to share them, and also then with the passing, hopefully, of the coronavirus as a pandemic, to get together and share the Deep Awake experience at retreats again, which I'm going to do one. Hopefully, it looks like it'll happen in January in my home, with people who want to come. And having been doing these for decades now, I'm optimistic that we will have such a profound time. And I hope, as my own ability to see myself more clearly and to be as authentic as I can be with myself and with each other, with you, that not just the understanding, but the living of the understanding, the actual exploration of these deep awake states can evolve, increase, move forward. And we can bring more love into the world. That's it, really. That's been what it's all been about. That's been the deep thing throughout the whole of my life. How do we bring more love into the world? So, I love you, and I'm honored that you've wanted to listen to me talk about my life, and I hope it's given you something of value for your life, and that our paths continue to intertwine.